Hello. Hello, hello, hello. My name's Joanne. I haven't gone live for a very long time. I'm not expecting anybody to join me, but I thought I'm here. And should you find this an invitation, I've just seen something saying about going live is the future and that so many people avoid it. Even if they've done loads of YouTube, they're avoiding going live. And I thought, I wonder if anybody kind of accidentally finds me and sees this about going live, and then they had some questions about it. So I thought I'll quickly run through some things that maybe will help you have the courage to hit record. One thing I will say is I did do some interviews with people that were doing reaction channels, and it's quite surprising how many are nervous about doing the live rather than having something pre-recorded. So if you are nervous about going live, you're not alone. I've got a little bit of a problem with my camera. For some reason, it's using only the built-in camera on my laptop and not the additional camera. No idea why it's doing that. But anyway, hitting record and going live. Everybody's nervous, but the expectations are lower. So if you are somebody that wants to do it, one of the things I will say, they seem to have something. I wrote it down earlier. They call it managing moderators. Managing moderators. So I need to look that up. But it's something, it seems to be a new button that you can press and have somebody be a moderator and deal with the comments and different things like that. And I would recommend that because it's quite a lot to read the comments at the same time. For me, I'm trying to focus on just speaking because I'm not sure that there's going to be anybody joining me. But I can imagine that if you do have quite a large following on YouTube already, then it would be useful to sort of assign somebody to manage and read the comments and do the quick replies and different things like that. Or maybe even filter the questions for you so that you can do that. What else would I give you as a tip for hitting record? Just do it. I found hitting record and going live on Facebook was kind of my route in to doing that on YouTube, because when you go live on Facebook, the negative is that there's some people that know you, and on YouTube it feels more anonymous. But the positive is it's there and then it's gone. It's, a lot of people don't see it in their feed and then it will never be seen again. So I found that it felt a little bit easier to start on Facebook. You can find, if you do hit record and you're nervous about it, immediately afterwards, you can delete the whole thing. So don't feel like if you hit record and then you fumble and then you just think, oh my goodness, that was terrible, you can just delete everything straight away. So don't worry about that. There you go. What else can I tell you about hitting record? They say it's doing lives is the future thing because of AI and and all this fakery and different things. But I think it's also about human connection, and that you could ask a question and people who follow you, more interaction, different things like that. So I think that's probably what they're talking about for the lives. And I see that I'm actually a real human being. What else? Next, I was going to give an update to anybody who finds this later. I haven't done that many videos. They know that I've got chronic fatigue, or that's the diagnosis at the moment. I haven't been managing it that well. Today, I went to an online networking event for disabled entrepreneurs, they call us. And that was really good. And it was a shame it wasn't longer, and they're only doing it every 3 months. And I thought, oh, we really need to do more of this, because one of the things I really liked about it was that the people were quite open about the fact that they were experiencing some challenges, and they were trying to take their business from one thing to another. So, for example, their business might have been based on charging people an hourly rate, and they were moving it and trying to move away from that because of disability, or typically chronic fatigue or chronic illnesses. And they're trying to figure out how to change that. And I really liked the openness and the vulnerability of that conversation. And I just thought, oh, what a shame what a shame we're not being able to speak to each other, because I definitely felt like the few people that were doing the different businesses, I felt like, oh, you would go to the top of my list. I would reach out to you first if I needed. There was a lady there who's doing graphic design. There was somebody else who was talking about the tech side of things, somebody else who had a contact and connections at university. And I thought, what if I could? It served the purpose, this network event, of they would be top of my mind because they understand the situation that I'm in terms of building a business. And I really liked the fact that they were so open, and they were saying, they're not quite sure what the future is. Where typically when I've gone to networking events in person, there's so much bullshit. There's so much bull. It's like, you ask them how work is and they say everything's fabulous, and you're thinking, well, why are you here if it's all so fabulous? So that was the one thing that I wanted to give an update about the chronic fatigue. I'm not managing it particularly well, but I am doing what I can to reach out and connect to other people, and I'm trying new things and I'm exploring different things like that. The third point, which I mentioned, and put your questions if you've got any questions, is post-diagnosis. Some of you will know I'm 2 weeks post-diagnosis in terms of the autism ADHD. I've now read the reports that these people did about me, and that's kind of humbling. I'm playing with a pen as I'm speaking to you, and then in the reports they were like, fiddles, looks away a lot, and all these things, and it made me feel like that super focus attention on me and being critiqued. And one of the things was, it's like, well, I'm working from home, I'm trying to make video, I'm trying to get comfortable with doing that, and I'm doing my best. I don't want to do the scripted things, I just want to show up as me. And yet when they're mentioning all these negative things in the report to do with the ADHD or autism, I mean, I know they've got to point out the things that, I don't know, supposedly wrong or something like that, but it made me feel, I actually felt quite low for a little while, in that, what on earth am I trying to do? Trying to make this work if the typical things that are said about people that are autistic or ADHD is a negative in terms of the communication and about other people misunderstanding you, and the idea that maybe I don't look at the camera enough, or that I'm fiddling and messing around. And I just thought, I'm not sure I need that voice in my head of thinking and feeling that everything I do is wrong when I hit record, because, well, it's already hard enough, isn't it? And you're trying to show up as yourself. So I think prior to that, I was feeling like I was making progress, hitting record, being myself, finding people that I can connect with. And then when I read this ADHD and autism report, I just thought, oh, maybe this isn't the type of work that I should be doing. And I suppose I spent a little bit of time thinking, maybe I can focus on the writing, maybe I can avoid hitting record and doing all that. And I thought, well, that's such a shame, because I like the people that I've met, particularly, on this channel. This is my explore channel. I'm doing my best to set up sort of worky teaching channel as well. But this is me meeting people who are like-minded, and we like similar music and hobbies and different things like that. And I thought, I really want to keep doing that. But I don't know, reading this report, it's just, sometimes when you see all these people talk about what career to have and what to do in the future, and they say, pick your strengths, don't do things that are your weakness. And it's like, well, doesn't everybody in this type of work thing that you do, isn't there lots of little things, and that some of the things that you might feel stronger about and some of the things you feel weaker about? And I thought, well, for me, I might like geeking out and having a geek out conversation and researching things and doing all that. And I love the writing and I love all these things. And yes, it's a weaker spot in terms of the hitting record, but it's all one big thing, isn't it? How can I say, oh, I'll only do these things? I say, I listen to other people's recommendations and advice way too much, and I wanted to show up and share that's kind of the problem. I'm trying not to listen to other people say, focus on your strengths, because then when you read your ADHD autism report and it says weakness, misunderstanding, the way you communicate, everybody hates you. They don't say everybody hates you in the report, but it can feel a bit like that. They start talking about you're the minority, everybody else is the majority, and you can't blame them for being upset with things that you've said. You're like, really? I don't know. So anyway, I'm wondering. I like doing the videos. This is me hitting and doing the live and trying not to overthink it too much, because I feel like this is still part of my future. But if I read these things or I listen to the experts and they say, do the thing that you're great at, it's like, some things are basic skills, aren't they? Some things like the speaking, you do have to get better at. You can't be great at everything, out of the gate. And yeah, I'd like to be better in terms of the sound and the music and different things like that. And I was going to do another music reaction. This is about the 2 weeks ago when I got the results. And then I got a comment saying, your sound is rubbish, to do with the music. And I thought, I guess I won't be doing a music reaction today. So I have a few songs that I was thinking I'd do, but I got the one artist that I listen to, Ren. He's just brought out a whole load of videos with new music, and I didn't listen to the first one because I was thinking, oh, I'll do a reaction or something. And then he's brought out so many videos. I don't know which one's first. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And I thought, I maybe you've missed the boat, and I can't do that. And as I say, and then I see this comment saying about the quality of the music, the sound of the music is really bad. And I thought, I can't do it. So I think what's been happening over the last couple of weeks is that there's been a lot of other people's voices in my head and really kind of personal critiquing me. But as I say, the comment is a comment because, I don't know, you do get good and bad comments. But the ADHD report and different things is one thing. And then I was thinking, getting the ADHD report and the autism, but particularly related to the ADHD, really made me question about, is it possible for somebody like me to be online and to have a business and to do these kind of things? And I couldn't find voices of experts that were saying it was possible, besides the ones that were saying stick to your strengths and put the work in and grind. And if you've seen the title for this, it's like, okay, well, this isn't necessarily my strong point. I love it and want to do more of it and really want to get even better at it. And I have energy limitations. So is it possible for somebody like me? Is it possible for somebody like me? Now I know that this is just a wiring and this is a future situation that, I don't know, motivation and what do they call it? I'm thinking brain power, but they don't call it brain power, do they? Cognitive front of the brain stuff. If I'm going to be limited with that, is this something that I do keep investing in and want this to be a business, or is this something that I do for fun? Who knows? But anyway, I know there's a few here. If you have questions for me, please put your questions in. Obviously, I just put a few titles up as, is there anybody floating around? Sometimes I know people float around and they're looking for a live to join in. And I was thinking maybe people have questions about hitting record themselves. And maybe people who have these chronic fatigue and these different illnesses, and they're trying to exist in the world and do their own thing, or maybe it's about sort of these different diagnoses. Maybe people have got questions about that. So I'm giving you a few different topic ideas, but if you don't have questions with those, that's completely fine for too. But do you have any questions for me? Apologies that the camera, I don't know why, for some reason, I have multiple lights flashing in front of me. It says all these different cameras that I've got are on, but it's only using the one from the laptop, and I don't know why. Oh, I've just noticed. Is my microphone actually on? Hello? It is on, isn't it? Yeah, I can see a little green light. Oh boy. Is people not heard me all that time? I've been on 15 minutes and people might not have heard me, and I can't tell. If you can hear me, can you just tell me that you can hear me? That would be great. Oh, why is it doing that?